I I found her diary, and it feels wrong. It is wrong to read it, but I've done a lot of wrong things to survive, and this feels like just another for the pile. She didn't write in it very often, at least not after 1969. There are some entries from before the incident, just mundane life stuff that I didn't do much more than skim. It isn't relevant, and I don't want to violate her privacy more than I have to. So it's best to focus on the entries from 68 on. At first, it seems like she didn't notice that something was wrong. It seems like her life was pretty isolated to begin with, spending most of her job outside on her own, living alone, and talking on the phone every 2 weeks with her daughters. Her husband, he's been dead for a few years, it looks like. God, nearly a decade now, I guess. A few years when this whole thing started. His name... You won't believe this, but his name was Harry. Boy, was that a shock to the system when I read the words, "Since Harry passed." I felt like I was going to faint for a moment before I remembered where I was and what I was reading. I had to take a break for a while after that. I've had to take breaks a few times. Just reading about someone else's life is... I flipped through the journal, and the last entry looks like it's from a few months ago, with only a few entries each year the last few years. I guess it makes sense. I know I would have had very little to write about if I'd kept a journal the last 5 or so years. That first year, sure, but since then, well, not much happens. I guess that isn't true for the last 6 months. A lot has happened, even if it doesn't feel like it. I'm barely closer to finding anyone or understanding anything than I was when I started, but compared to the small, monotonous existence of Pennsylvania, my head spins when I think about everything I've done since I left. I have been keeping a journal of sorts, I guess, in these broadcasts. I don't even know who I'm talking to anymore, but you're getting almost every thought, any substantial event that takes place. If that's not a journal, what is? But just like these transmissions I'm making, I don't expect Lan's journal to hold many answers. If she'd known any more than what I did, surely she would have figured something out, would have left this place, would have gone out and lived. Then again, maybe she knew exactly what happened and decided she was better off alone. I'll just have to read and find out.